for behaving this way. And I started studying and looking at child soldiers, as you know, I've shared this before, and I was like, these poor little sweethearts, you know, when they're young, they get taken and turned into child soldiers. And that reality broke my heart. And the more I learned, like feeling myself get emotional, even just like going back to some of the photos and stuff that I saw during my research. But, and so I started developing this story for myself, for Echo, and I got really connected with her. And her resilience and her strength and her ability, you know, to survive all of this chaos. And then Jason and the writers kind of ended up writing something that matched my own backstory that I made for her, and I was like, that's cool, you know? But I knew that it had to come from a place of deep, deep trauma, that she was just like so ruthless and strong. I was like, that's part of her story. And then they made it, so yeah.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. All right, were you happy with how Echo's story wrapped up? And the whole arc of season 7, her arc in season 7 and the series at large?
David.
Tasya.
Put on the spot.
Do you want me to take you off the spot?
There was, okay, let's go about it this way. There was a story where Echo became integrated with Mother Earth. And Jason, I remember at the beginning of the season, he's like, I don't know how we're going to do this. He's like, but there's a story where Echo becomes a part, where she becomes like nature and she echoes kind of through the world. And I was like, whoa, that sounds awesome. It's like, I don't know what that means, but I'm like, cool, let's do that. And then the way that season 7 ended up unfurling, she became, you know, she went back to a previous version of herself where she became, you know, another renegade, assassin, murderous person. And I feel like, you know, we told that story about Echo before. And so I would have loved to see a different version of her, but it also made sense for her. That, you know, I mean, am I happy? I'm happy that Echo got family at the end. That is really a beautiful story for her, but I would have loved to become Mother Earth.
It reminds me of Annihilation. Do you ever see that movie, Annihilation?
Yes.
Tessa Thompson's character?
Exactly.
That's what I was picturing.
Me too.
Becoming Earth.
Have you guys seen Annihilation?
It's spectacular.
I've seen it like 15
Psychological
times.
thriller.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really
Love
interesting.
that.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
So I know a lot of times actors might talk about bringing a character home with them, or like having trouble like letting go of a character. And I know it's been several years since you played Echo, but are there ever times where you're maybe angry or tense or frustrated about something and you just hear Echo come out?
Yeah. All the time. It scares me. Yeah, it's funny, like you do take those things home with you. And so like when Echo was going through a identity crisis, you know, as we watched her like deal with the Ash, I'm Ash, do I tell my friends I took over this, you know, like there was like some sort of similar thing that was happening with me where I was like, what am I doing in the world? And like, and then you have to, Lindsay and I talk about this all the time, create like a way of dealing with a separation between you and your character. But also I just feel like I'm a little bit gangster. And that just happens sometimes, you know? Like it will come out with my friends. Like I don't really care about defending myself so much, but if someone fronts on one of my friends, I'll be like, what'd you say? You know? Like, a whole new thing happens, you know? And I'm like, well, there she is.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, go.
Yeah. It's like chasing people out of a restaurant, and if there was like a drunk guy being misbehaving.
Pulling
And
her off the back.
yeah, like I'd be find myself like chasing him out of the restaurant. Don't you come back? Hey.
Hello. So I know there are feelings about season 7, but going through it, I was absolutely certain that, you know how they put you and the others through that kind of training where there was a simulation essentially, right? I was absolutely certain that what we saw of Bellamy's journey was simulation and that transcendence wasn't going to be real. Now, characters didn't see that, like your character and all of them, so they probably didn't believe in transcendence like Bellamy did. At what point did the actors find out if transcendence was going to be real or not?
I only heard a little bit of what you had said, sorry.
I am so sorry. Basically, I didn't think transcendence was going to be real. I thought it was part of the simulation, what we saw of what Bellamy went through. And so, you know, the characters didn't see what we saw, and I was wondering when you guys actors knew that transcendence was going to be real or not real.
No, we didn't.
I'm still not sure.
I'm not either. Yeah, we didn't know either. I mean, like, I remember like reading the scripts and stuff like that and just being like, this is a big undertaking, you know? But we didn't know how that was going to play out either.
Then I guess a follow-up, if the characters could have known that transcendence was real, would that, I'm sure it would have changed how you all would have interacted with Bellamy's transformation, but he still kind of took a really hard turn. How would Echo, do you think, have handled that, knowing that he was right, but kind of going off the deep end a little bit?
Oh, Echo would have had his back 100%. There'd be no question about it. Like, she's loyal to maybe a fault, one would say, but like, she would be there next to him for sure, you know? Yeah.
Thank you.
Excellent. Well, that's perfect timing. Everyone give a round of applause for Tasya. Thanks for coming. A few minutes will be Eliza and Thomas. My tall friends. I'm sure.